The specialization itself, I would say about 10 years ago, some of the initial conversations began around sustainable agriculture here at the university. So it's something that's been in the works for a long time. Sustainable agriculture and food systems are definitely sprawling throughout the university, and we're working right now to form an institute, so it's a little bit more joined. But at the moment, this program is the academic extension of that. So the Mott Group itself does research and community interest work. They do a lot of outreach with community groups around food and nutrition, but there wasn't really an academic outlet. Occasionally those folks teach, but they don't have formal courses. And then within agriculture and some of the social sciences that are both discussing these issues, there wasn't really a connection. So what this specialization does is to formalize some interdisciplinary knowledge between the social sciences and biological sciences dealing with sustainable agriculture. At the moment, I'd say we primarily have folks who are in the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources, both studying food system ends, so some of the social science ends of rural development and farmers markets and even urban development. And we also have horticultural folks and crop and soil sciences folks who are looking at ways that we can actually do the farming and more sustainably in and of itself. And those folks are both local as well as international in their scope. But I'm also hoping that students from outside the college will be interested in taking it. By training, I'm an ecologist, but I studied in agricultural areas, and I see being that agriculture takes up about 50% of the land in the U.S. and 80% of the water, it's pretty obvious that there's a lot of ecological connections there, and I know that most ecologists recognize that. Gaining a little bit of knowledge around that, especially if they have interest in research within agroecology and landscape level design is really a wise choice as far as being able to market themselves post-graduation, as well as expand the scope of what their research is. I would say that we have a very motivated student body engaged in it, and they've already formed their own graduate student group, work group that is interested in doing both kind of educational and academic things, as well as doing some community outreach and exploration of the local food system. And the program itself does help students to get to conferences and things like that. We actually had 6 members, both from Student Organic Farm and of graduate students, attend the Sustainable Agriculture and Food Systems Conference this summer. And they were very integral in making that conference a meaningful experience, not only for themselves and for other students who are in attendance, but also for faculty members, because some of them sat on a panel and engaged in several of the other conference meetings in ways that really expanded the perspective of those faculty members. For me, as someone who started out in natural resources and being very reductionist and thinking about genetics, and then growing in my career and getting into ecology and doing more kind of broad scope of analysis, I think for me that connection, not only personally but also on the scientific scale with agriculture, is both obvious and necessary for us to consider. We could probably do without a lot of things. We could probably somehow live without plastic or aluminum and those other things that we obtain from natural resources, but we are always going to need food. And there will always be a need to do that in a most sustainable manner possible, especially with a growing human population.